What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are taking a quick look at the differences between the Xiaomi Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G and the regular Xiaomi Redmi Note 11. Now price-wise there is a difference of about $100 between the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G and the regular Redmi Note 11. So is it worth spending that $100 to buy the Note 11 Pro 5G over the regular one? Well, we're definitely gonna find out in today's video. Okay, first of all, looking at the screen. So on the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G, we do get a somewhat larger screen. This is a 6.67 inches AMOLED screen with a 1080p resolution, where on the regular Redmi Note 11, we get a 6.43 inches AMOLED screen, once again with a 1080p resolution. Now, the refresh rate is a bit different. So on the Redmi Note 11 Pro, we get a refresh rate of 120 Hz, where on the regular Redmi Note 11 we get a refresh rate of 90 Hz. I highly doubt that you're going to be able to spot that on the camera, but in person, yes, you can tell the difference. The Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G is slightly smoother when scrolling up and down, I don't know, on Twitter, Instagram and stuff like that. It does feel a bit smoother. But is it worth spending that extra money? I'm not sure about that. The peak brightness on the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G is also 1200 nits, where the peak brightness on the Redmi Note 11 is 1000 nits. And you may be able to spot a difference if you do take the phones outside in direct sunlight, because this one is a bit easier to be seen in direct sunlight. So the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G. So if you're outside a lot and you live in a super sunny place, maybe that extra brightness is worth spending the money for this one, the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G. The 11 Pro is also a bit heavier, so we have 202 grams versus 179 grams. Of course, the Redmi Note 11 is a bit smaller, so a bit easier to hold in your hand, a bit easier to keep it in your pocket, and so on. On the backs, we also have a bit of a difference. So on the back of the Redmi Note 11 Pro, we have glass. So this is glass right here, where on the back of the regular Redmi Note 11, we have plastic. So the 11 Pro 5G does feel a bit more premium whenever you're holding it in your hand compared to the regular Note 11. They kind of look the same, so the same squarish looking frame, I'm gonna say. At the top there we have the same 3.5mm audio jack, we have the same second speaker, we have an IR blaster on both devices. And on the right hand sides here, we have the power button that's also a fingerprint scanner on both. I think the 11 Pro has a somewhat faster fingerprint scanner, but just slightly faster. So this is how the fingerprint scanner on the regular Redmi Note 11 works. So it's not slow by any means, but I feel that this one has the somewhat faster fingerprint scanner, just slightly. But maybe that's just me, but it does seem slightly faster. And at the bottom we have the USB-C charging port and the second speaker. Now with the Redmi Note 11, you can install two SIM cards and an SD card at the same time. So the SIM card slot is sitting on the left hand side there, where the SIM card slot on the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G is sitting at the bottom. So with this one you can either have a SD card and a SIM card, or two SIM cards at the same time. So you cannot have two SIM cards and an SD card as you can have on the regular Redmi Note 11. Performance-wise, we have the Snapdragon 695 versus the Snapdragon 680. And let me open the Antutu benchmark here. So with this one we get a score of about 392,000 versus 248,000. Keep in mind that I also have the version that has 8 gigs of RAM for the Redmi Note 11 Pro and the version that has 4 gigs of RAM for the regular Redmi Note 11. So that will also make a difference. Let me just quickly open a few apps just so you can see how apps open. So I'm gonna close everything running in the background, just so you get an idea how it would be to open certain apps. So opening apps is kind of the same on both of them, even though this one is supposedly a bit faster. But you will notice some of that performance mostly when you're playing games. If you're just scrolling through Facebook, for example, there is almost no difference in between the two. I've also noticed something a bit unusual about the reading and writing speeds for the internal memory. So with the Redmi Note 11, we actually get faster reading speeds than we get on the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G. I don't know, something that I've found a bit unusual. I was expecting to be the total opposite with this one, the more expensive one, the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G. Battery wise, we have the same 5000 mAh battery inside both devices, and we do get somewhat similar battery life. I think we get about an hour more on the regular Redmi Note 11. Now for charging, the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G, so this one supports 67 watt fast charging, where this one supports 33 watt fast charging. So charging the Redmi Note 11 from 0 to 100 takes about an hour, where charging the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G takes about 45 to 50 minutes. So not a massive difference considering how much faster the charging on the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G is. But this one will charge faster for the first 50% compared to the Redmi Note 11. So if you just want a quick charge, like you have 10 minutes and that's about it, this one, the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G, will charge a bit faster for the beginning of the charging cycle, basically. Moving on to camera performance. Well, here I was actually expecting to see a bit of a difference in between the two, but realistically there isn't that much of a difference between the two. So on the back of the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G, we have a main camera that's a 108 megapixel sensor, where on the back of the Redmi Note 11, we have a 50 megapixel main camera. And as I said, I was expecting to see a bit of a difference, but there isn't that much of a difference. I've done some camera comparison videos between each of these phones and my iPhone 13. I'm gonna leave some links in the video's description just in case you wanna see that, so you can see what pictures and what videos you can take with both these devices. But what I find somewhat strange is that with the cheaper Redmi Note 11, you can record at the maximum resolution of 1080p at 60 frames per second, where with the more expensive Redmi Note 11 Pro, you can only do 1080p at 30 frames per second for video recordings. Not to mention that neither device has image stabilization for video recordings. So I was a bit disappointed to see that. I was actually expecting that the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G would at least get image stabilization for video recordings. So for cameras, if you're hoping to buy these phones just for their cameras, well, I feel that last year's Redmi Note 10 Pro did better than both these devices for videos and pictures. So these are the main differences between the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G and the regular Redmi Note 11. Of course, as the name suggests, the Note 11 Pro has 5G connectivity, where with the Redmi Note 11 you just get 4G connectivity. I don't think that's a big deal. A lot of carriers these days don't support 5G connectivity quite yet, so I don't think that is a big deal. They both run MIUI 13. And I have to say that they're both a bit buggy for MIUI 13. Every so often they will freeze for a couple of seconds, so there is some work to be done for MIUI 13, but that is always the case when Xiaomi introduces a new operating system, basically a new version of it. And they're both, of course, running Android 11. So if you're looking for a phone so you can play more games, I feel that this one will do a bit better for gaming than the regular Redmi Note 11. I highly recommend getting the Redmi Note 11 with at least 6 gigs of RAM. 4 gigs of RAM doesn't seem to be enough because MIUI does require a lot of RAM as well. So if you can get a version that has 6 gigs of RAM, it will do much better than the one that I have right here. So there you have it, the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G and the regular Redmi Note 11. I feel that if you are a light user, if you just scroll through Instagram, Facebook, you make phone calls, you watch videos, even the Redmi Note 11 does okay. So there isn't that massive of a difference in between these two, mostly if you're a light user. If you do play a lot of games, maybe the Note 11 Pro 5G will do a bit better for gaming due to that more powerful CPU that we have inside it. There you have it. This is the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G and the regular Redmi Note 11.